First, you are probably wondering what royalties and performance rights are. Performance rights are legal rights to publicly show any form of media, according to the library website of Arizona State University. Royalties are, according to the Chapter 3 of the Mass Media textbook by George Rodman, an author's share of the net amount of a work's revenue. Basically, the amount of money an author receives for his or her work. This topic can be sensitive to the recording industry because musical artists and companies do not always agree on profit sharing. 4 major corporations collect around 80% of recording industry revenues each year. These companies include Warner, EMI, Sony BMG, and Universal. In 2007, Radiohead released their album In Rainbows without the consent of their label. The album was available on their website and there was no retail price set. This means that as a customer, you could pay however much you wanted for an album and the recording label still wouldn't get a cent. On another note, I'm sure a majority of young men and women illegally download music. Recording labels are aware of this as it has become a social norm throughout the world. Many people could assume that this new social norm would greatly affect the recording label's profits negatively. However, this is not true. In fact, recording industries rarely lose money. On page 193 of Mass Media by George Rodman, it states in 1999 the revenue was $14.5 billion and it took a dive down to $8.5 billion. Now that I have given you a little background on our topic, we will explain how recording royalties operate.
Recording royalties are very complex. Some may think recording artists earn royalties anytime their work gets shown or sold. However, Rodman stated in page 200 in the text, artists earn royalties from the sale of their recordings via CDs, tapes, vinyl, and legal downloads. So when a consumer buys an artist's album or song on iTunes or any form of legal purchasing, part of that money goes to the performer. Having an artist song play on their radio or TV can be very rewarding for them in the musical industry, but not in their bank accounts. They do not make profit or earn royalties from the recordings being played on the radio or TV. The only people who earn royalties to the radio or TV are the songwriters, or publishers. So since an artist like Taylor Swift writes her own music, she will be getting those royalties earned from radio play. But an artist who does not write their own music, like Jason Aldean, can only profit from recording and album sales. The more radio stations play artist songs, the more recordings will be sold that artists will profit from. In 1995, on top of earning royalties from album sales, artists began earning royalties from digital arenas. This was caused from the Digital Performance Rights in Sound Recordings Act. Digital arenas such as webcast and online radio must pay royalties to recording artists while on-air radio does not. With the amount of album sales the artists receive from recording royalties, artists do not receive as much profit and royalties than we think they do. Artists are often cheated out of receiving their full amount of royalties. An example of this is from Rodman on page 199 of the text. That recording artists such as Courtney Love has spoken out about both major and independent labels cheating them out of their rightful royalty payments. According to the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers website, artist royalties range from 10% to 25% of the suggested retail price for albums. After the percentage is given, there are numerous deductions made, such as packaging costs, free goods, video, tour support, and promotion expenses, recording sales, and merchandise rights. Those aren't even all the deductions made by recording companies. Because of all the small print information in contracts, music artists must read them carefully and must be fully aware of what their contract entails. Now that I have given you information about how royalties work and where they go, we will talk to you about performance rights.
Public performance rights are legal rights to publicly show media, according to the Arizona State University Library website. Public performance rights are not required for home viewing and screening media in context of face-to-face teaching. And on page 200 of the book, it states that performance royalties for songwriters and publishers are calculated and paid out by performance rights organizations, also known as PROs. The 3 main pros are ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC. Copyright owners then register a song with a pro. The pro then sells users either a blanket license, which allows music users to perform any or all of over 8.5 million songs in ASCAP repertory as much as they would like. A blanket license also saves music users the paperwork, trouble, and expense of finding and negotiating licenses with all of the copyright owners and helps prevent users from inadvertently infringing upon copyrights of ASCAP members. To use any song in the Pro's catalog of songs or a per program license that charges users only for the songs they actually play and use. Users are anyone who plays music in a public place, such as TV networks, radio stations, colleges, concert presenters, websites, bars, restaurants, hotels, theme parks, and many more. Even businesses who play hold music on their phone systems.